Hey, what's up? It's Jackie. I haven't been here in a while, but I thought it'd be cool to record my process on this little mermaid drawing and post it so you guys can hear about my, my thought process a little bit during this illustration. So when I was drawing this doodle at the beginning, it was just a little drawing and I was live streaming on my TikTok. And, after bouncing ideas around and talking out loud and getting feedback, this little doodle kind of ended up being more like a full illustration. So I kept changing the canvas size and I kept making it bigger and bigger. And then I ended up with this. So, I changed a lot of colors around. I decided to make it like a scene where like a siren is kind of beckoning this fisherman to the depths with like skulls and stuff like that. And at first it was more of a blue, happy scene, and then I thought it would be a lot more impactful and cool with the storyline where, it was more these darker colors, these like more intense colors, more to the story. And then also then the water of blue would have a really nice contrast of the opposite color of like this orange, reddish kind of scene at the top. So I sketched it out on Procreate, and then when I was finished live streaming, I kind of forgot about it for a bit, and then I remembered about it and I put it through Photoshop where I could actually kind of more figure out the colors and the vibe I was going with. When I opened it on Photoshop, I realized how much I didn't like it, the colors that I was going for. So I kind of wanted to play with more like reflections and highlights and lighting. So I was trying to maybe make it that it was more green and the reflection was touching upon them, but then it looked very much like an aquarium, so that also didn't work for me. So I kind of put it back to this blue and I started just working on the sky because I was frustrated. I looked up what an actual sunset looks like. I was kind of guessing what a sunset looks like with these oranges and reds, and it just felt really unnatural. I thought it would be cooler if there was more, a little bit more realism in the colors instead of these vibrant, just random opposite colors. And I feel like a lot of my pieces always have just like these exciting storybook colors that aren't really rooted in reality. So I thought maybe I would try my hand at something a little bit more realistic for a palette. And I'm always I'm toggling between black and white to make sure my values work. And at this point, I figured out my sketch and I kind of also just let it go. Oh, right here, I'm reformatting it because I want it to be 11 by 17 in case I wanted to print it as a poster. So I had to add bleed, so I wanted to get that done before I got in too deep. So at this point, the sketch is done on the bottom half, and I'm kind of figuring out how I'm going to render the piece. And I want the top and bottom to kind of look similar in terms of rendering style. So where that pause was, you see that I left it for like almost 2 months. Like, I haven't touched this in 2 months. And then the other day I panicked and I was like, oh my God, I haven't touched this in forever and I'm never gonna finish it unless I finish it now. So I kind of did a really fast job. Like, the bottom part underwater is definitely not as rendered and as beautiful final touches as the top part. But then I thought, what, maybe that's kind of cool because the bottom part is really dark. You're not going to see a lot of detail. It's kind of going to be blurred. And I was kind of playing around with like a liquefying idea of like, it's kind of, there's movement in the blurriness. I thought that'd be cool, so I wasn't too caught up about it. And I also was like, if I don't finish it now, I'm never going to finish it. So I might as well do it rough and dirty and then and finish it rather than not. So I didn't put too much thought into the colors at this point. I was like, yeah, these colors work, but I knew I wanted to kind of make those colors, like match more. But I really lost momentum at this point. And I'm adding gradients, trying to like play around with colors a little bit more, make it a little bit cohesive. But I'm actually pretty happy with how it turned out, considering losing momentum is really did take a toll on this piece. But I think it's a really cool idea, and I think the colors are pretty nice. And I ended up printing it for my May Patreon monthly print. So if you're watching this in the month of May, you can join my Patreon and get it shipped directly to your house. So that's my little plug for this piece. And just touching up with these last pieces of colors and shadows. I realized because the sun is behind them, there's going to be a lot more shadow towards us, but I didn't want to kind of muddy the piece. So I just did a little bit just to kind of hint at that idea without taking away from the beautiful colors that I chose. And this is me trying to figure out if I wanted to do those wavy ideas. Adding some blurs and final touches, some lighting things, and that's about it for this piece. I really like the colors, and the prints came out very vibrant, so I'm really happy about that. So yeah, you can join my Patreon and get this print in the mail if you're interested. Thank you.